It was convened out of spite by Samantha, and they have just finished a burnt casserole at the point where we joined. "That was lovely, Sam," said Mary in the kitchen, as they scraped most of the first course into the bin. "No, it wasn't, it was horrible," said Samantha, who was only appreciating how drunk she was now that she was on her feet. "What do you think of Kay?" "I don't know. She's not what I expected," said Mary. "She's exactly what I expected," said Samantha, taking out plates for pudding. "She's another Lisa, if you ask me." "Oh, no, don't say that," said Mary. "Gavin deserves someone nice this time." This was a most novel point of view to Samantha, who was of the opinion that Gavin's wetness merited constant punishment. They returned to the dining room to find an animated conversation in progress between Kay and Miles, while Gavin sat in silence. "So your solution is to shunt off the problem onto Yarville," said Kay, "not to engage with any of the underlying—" "Mississippi mud pie," called Samantha. Gavin and Mary took slices with thanks. Kay, to Samantha's fury, simply held out her plate as though Samantha were a waitress, her attention all on Miles. "The addiction clinic, which is absolutely crucial and which certain people are apparently lobbying to close." "Oh, well, if you're talking about Bellchapel," said Miles, shaking his head and smirking. "I hope you've mugged up on what the success rates are, Kay. Pathetic, frankly, absolutely pathetic." "Well, I can give you a very concrete example of what Bellchapel's doing. One family I'm working with, mother, teenage daughter and small son. If the mother wasn't on methadone, she'd be on the streets trying to pay for her habit. The kids are immeasurably better off. They'd be better off away from their mother, by the sound of it," said Miles. "And where exactly would you propose they go?" "A decent foster home would be a good start." "Do you know how many foster homes there are against how many kids needing them?" asked Kay. "The best solution would have been to have them adopted at birth." "Fabulous. I'll hop in my time machine," retorted Kay. "Well, we know a couple who are desperate to adopt," said Samantha, unexpectedly throwing her weight behind Miles. She would not forgive Kay for the rude, outstretched plate. The woman was bolshy and patronising, exactly like Lisa, who had monopolised every get-together with her political views and her job in family law, despising Samantha for owning a bra shop. "Adam and Janice," she reminded Miles in parenthesis, who nodded. "And they couldn't get a baby for love nor money, could they?" "Yes, a baby," said Kay, rolling her eyes. "Everybody wants a baby. Robbie's nearly 4. He's not potty trained. He's developmentally behind for his age, and he's almost certainly had inappropriate exposure to sexual behaviour. Would your friends like to adopt him?" "But the point is, if he'd been taken from his mother at birth—" "She was off drugs when he was born and making good progress," said Kay. "She loved him and wanted to keep him, and she was meeting his needs at the time. She'd already raised Crystal with some family support." "Crystal?" shrieked Samantha. "Oh my God! Are we talking about the Whedons?" Kay was horrified that she had used names. It had never mattered in London, but everyone truly did know everyone at Pagford, it seemed. I shouldn't have... But Miles and Samantha were laughing, and Mary looked tense. Kay, who had not touched her pie and had managed very little of the first course, realised that she had drunk too much. She had been sipping wine steadily out of nerves, and now she had committed a crime of indiscretion. Still, it was too late to undo that. Anger overrode every other consideration. "Crystal Wheaton is no advert for that woman's mothering skills," said Miles. "Crystal's trying her damnedest to hold her family together," said Kay. "She loves her little brother very much. She's terrified he'll be taken away." "I wouldn't trust Crystal Wheaton to look after a boiling egg," said Miles, and Samantha laughed again. "Oh, look, it's to her credit she loves her brother, but he isn't a cuddly toy." "Yes, I know that," snapped Kay, remembering Robbie's shitty, crusted bottom, but he's still loved. "Crystal bullied our daughter Lexi," said Samantha, "so we've seen a different side of her to the one I'm sure she shows you." "Look, we all know Crystal's had a rough deal," said Miles. "Nobody's denying that. It's the drug-addled mother I've got an issue with. As a matter of fact, she's doing very well on the Bellchapel programme at the moment. But with her history," said Miles, "it isn't rocket science, is it, to guess that she'll relapse? If you apply that rule across the board, you ought not to have a driving licence, because with your history, you're bound to drink and drive again." Miles was temporarily baffled, but Samantha said coldly, "I think that's a rather different thing." "Do you?" said Kay. "It's the same principle." "Yes, well, principles are sometimes the problem, if you ask me," said Miles. Often what's needed is a bit of common sense, which is the name people usually give to their prejudices, rejoined Kay. According to Nietzsche, said a sharp new voice, making them all jump, philosophy is the biography of the philosopher. A miniature Samantha stood at the door into the hall, a busty girl of around 16 in tight jeans and a t-shirt. She was eating a handful of grapes and looking rather pleased with herself. Everyone meet Lexi, said Miles proudly. Thank you for that, genius. You're welcome, said Lexi pertly, and she swept off upstairs.